Welcome to the newest edition of the High School Football Roundup podcast. I'm Walter Johnson, and in this edition of the High School Football Roundup podcast, I'm going to preview this week's games here in the Southwest Georgia Network coverage area. And remember, you can follow the High School Football Roundup podcast on Twitter at SWGA Network, as well as on Spreaker at SWGA Network 12345, and lots to get to. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and started with probably the biggest game of the week, not only in Southwest Georgia, but also in Middle Georgia. And I'm talking about the big game at Trojan Field on the campus of Lee County High School in Leesburg, Georgia, as the top-ranked Houston County Bears will pay a visit to Trojan Field to take on the Lee County Trojans. Houston County 6-0 overall, Lee County 5-0 overall. First meeting between the two teams in 5 years, and both squads last met in 2011, and Lee County held on for a 34-31 meeting on the make that a 34-31 win, and Lee County came out on top in that one. And hard to believe, just the third all-time meeting between these two teams, and they played each other in 2010 and 2011 when they were in Region 1 4A, and there were just 5 classifications back then. Lee County won by 3 points both times, and in this game matches the highest scoring team in Class 6A, in Houston County averaging just under 46 points a game against the number 2 defense, and Lee County averaging allowing just under 8.5 points a game, and this is and led by Jake Fromm, and so far he's 147 out of 216 for over 2,500 yards, 28 touchdowns. And Lee County's defense is led by defensive lineman Aubrey Solomon, a Super 11 pick according to by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, has 47 tackles, 9 of those for losses, 7 sacks, and has hurried the quarterback 10 times. And on the offensive side, Mark Robinson is the leading rusher in Region 1 6A, with just under 770 yards and 10 touchdowns and 115 carries. And Lee County has a very good quarterback as well, as Jay Sorendorf, is 72 out of 120 passing for almost 880 yards and 7 touchdowns. So you're talking about a really big game there. I'm very, very interested to see how that quarterback matchup will shake out between Orndorff from Lee County and Jake Fromm from Houston County. And moving right along, and the other game in GHSA Region 1 6A, and keep in mind there are just 5 teams in Region 1 6A between Northside of Warner Robins and Valdosta. And it'll be the first meeting between those two squads since 2009. And Northside held on for a 16-13 win some 7 years ago. Northside coming in at 6-0 and number 2 in the state in Class 6A, according to the Georgia High School Football Daily Newsletters poll. And Valdosta on the other hand, is 5-1, number 5 in the state. And Valdosta has had almost 2 weeks to rebound after suffering their only loss so far of 2016, being knocked off by Class 7A Tift County and Colquitt, along with Lowndes and Tift County, all had the week off, and which come at a better time for those 3 teams. as Valdosta, as Hurricane Matthew, likely to dump about 8 inches or more rainfall on southeast Georgia. But back to the north side of Warner Robins and Valdosta. And last time they've met was back in 2008 when they were both members of Region 15A. And Northside dropped out of the highest class in 2010, and then Valdosta and made the move to 6A just prior to this season. So it'll be an interesting game, and the winner will be tied for first place in GHSA Region 6A with the winner of the House and Lee County game. So a very huge game, and very quickly in Region 15A opens up its league schedule this Friday, October 7th, at Thomas County Central, having a bye after losing to Lee County a couple weeks ago. Will travel to Middle Georgia to take on Warner Robins, while the Bainbridge Bearcats, after a 1-4 start, will play host to Veterans. And some other games of interest, and the other games in the Southwest Georgia Network coverage area. In GHSA Region 1 AAA, the Worth County Rams head down to Adel, Georgia, to face the Cook Hornets in a battle of 3-3 teams. And after opening the season with 3 straight losses, and Cook has won 3 in a row, and Worth County's won 2 of his last 3 and played well in a 48-28 rout over Harris County at home last week. Great, and it should be a pretty good contest down in Adel, Georgia. And GHSA Region 1AA play opens up at Humil Stadium in Albany on Friday night, as winless Albany High at 0-5 will welcome the Fitzgerald Purple Hurricanes and to the Good Life City. And Fitzgerald coming off its first loss, losing a tough one to Tift County in the final seconds. And Albany High has mustered just 42 points and in its 5 games. And if they have any chance to pull off the upset against Fitzgerald, and Albany High has to get things going offensively. And the other games in Region 1AA, another winless team in 0-4 Early County, making a long trip down to Quitman, Georgia to face Brooks County. And just like Fitzgerald, Brooks County coming off a tough loss at Crisp County, lost at the last second field goal. And the Cougars are now 6-0, have this week off. And Berrien travels to Thomasville. And Berrien already having a leg up in the Region 1AA standings. And then knocking off Early County 16-12 just 2 weeks ago in Thomasville, and coming off a bye last week after losing to Cook. And how about in Region 1 A of the GHSA, the Terrell County Green Wave from Dawson heading up to Lumpkin, Georgia to face the Stewart County Knights. Stewart County with just 1 win to their credit, at 1-4 overall, and winless in region play at 0-4. And Terrell County not only looking to keep Stewart County winless in Region 1A play, also trying to stay in the playoff discussion. And Terrell routed Bickerton Charter last week, and look to try to keep that positive momentum going. And Calhoun County hitting the road as well, traveling down to Donaldsonville, Georgia. Donaldsonville was just 1D at the beginning, and taking on in Seminole County. And Calhoun County coming in at 1-4 overall, 1-3 in the region, and Seminole County trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. And a must-win game for Seminole County. They hope to stay in playoff contention. And remember, in Class Single A, the top 24 teams in the final power rankings will advance. And every game's a must-win. And also, a Thursday night game down in Baconton, Georgia. The Baconton Community Charter Blazers taking on the Randolph Clay Red Devils out of Cuthbert, Georgia. Critical Region 1 Single A contest. And a Friday night contest. Chattahoochee County heads down south to Colquitt, Georgia to clash with the Miller County Pirates. And in GISA action in Webb Stadium on the campus of Deerfield Windsor School in Albany. The Deerfield Windsor Knights at 4-2 overall and 1-0 in GISA Region 3 AAA play, playing host to the Tift Area Panthers out of tiny Chula, Georgia, spelled Chula. And Tift Area comes in at 5-2 overall, 1-1 in GISA Region 3 AAA. And Deerfield got back on the winning track with a big win over Southland. And Deerfield Windsor can stay atop the region standings with a win. And Tift Area, on the other hand, played very well this season. It will prove to be a stiff challenge for head coach Alan Lowe and company. And non-region contests at Centennial Stadium in Camilla as Westwood at 3-4 overall, playing host to the winless Spartans of Edmund Burke in East Central Georgia, I think just south of Augusta. And Westwood will have 2 more regular season games after this week. And the Wildcats hoping to look for some positive momentum to carry them the rest of the season. And as for the Spartans, and they've struggled to get things going as far as the offense is concerned. And Saturday night action at Hugh Mills Stadium, and Saturday, October 8th, with a 7 p.m. kickoff, and the battle for bragging rights between the Monroe Tornadoes and the Daugherty Trojans. And the Tornadoes sitting at 2-2 overall, and Daugherty just win on the season over Albany High, and it's the GHSA Region 1 AAA opener for both teams. And after having defeated Westover and Albany High, and Monroe can walk away with a City of Albany championship if they can beat Daugherty. Even more important than that, and the winner of the Monroe-Daugherty game will get an early leg up in the region standings. And it's hard to believe that this will be the first meeting between the two schools on the football field since 2013. And in the limited amount of time we have remaining, got Terrell Academy taking on Georgia Christian in Lowndes County in the tiny community of Dasher, Georgia, spelled D-S-H-E-R, D-S-H, Dasher spelled D-A-S-H-E-R, Dasher, Georgia. And while Valwood's on the road, and road traveling up to Americus, Georgia to take on Southland, and the other GISA Region 3 AAA contests. And on that note, that's going to end this latest episode of the High School Football Roundup podcast on the Southwest Georgia Network. And remember to follow on Twitter at SWGA Network, and on Spreaker at SWGA Network 12345. I'm Walter Johnson. Thank you for listening, and enjoy this week's action And